All right, guys, we are back. I've got another vlog for you. It's been a while. We're still under the house. I thought I had a solution, and some things just didn't pan out. So I'm gonna, I guess, make another vlog of me in the trenches. So we're gonna walk around back. I'm gonna explain a little bit more of what's going on. So we got the side and the back of the house open back up. Come to find out, I think the last vlog that we had, we was under there and we were looking at the root as a possible source of the water. That has been eliminated. That's not the problem. The foundation along this side and along the front of the house has some, it's been breached over the years. The house is about 80 years old, and there's it's kind of weird. I haven't found an actual footer yet that these blocks are sitting on. I've dug down, and I'll show you here in just a little bit. I've dug down a little bit, and I haven't found an actual footer. So the water basically is breaking the surface, running under the block, resurfacing, running across the top of the ground. Some of it is seeping through the ground and filling up the trench, which before the trench, it was just breaking the surface where it could, and the rest was just weeping through the ground, and everything under the house was pretty much just completely saturated. It's ruined. That's best I can say. It's just been completely ruined under there. I thought maybe I would go ahead and take these blocks out, dig a hole, and then I'll show you one of my toys here in a little bit. I was gonna actually dig under the house and start digging out a basement, and then put in a footer sill with a trench, French drain, sub pump, all that shit over the next several years. But post hurricane that you guys saw in the last video, the video before that, things have gotten a lot worse, and I'm not sure why. But now when it rains, I mean, it runs across the surface of the ground underneath the crawl space, and that trench fills right up. And I've got the sub pump in there, which helps, but it's pretty much like a mud pit in there right now, and when it rains. So I've had to speed up the process to try to get this water on this side of the house alleviated or fixed. Called a contractor. I'll spin around, you guys can see my ugly face. Called a contractor just to kind of see if they were on the same page as me, how much it was going to cost to have them fix it, because they could fix it faster. So I figured I better call them out here. They've got a bigger crew. Maybe they could take care of it. It might be worth the money to pay somebody else to do this shit. So I called them out here just before Christmas. The first guy came out. He was out here about an hour and a half, 2 hours. He looked at it. Yeah, obviously, basically everything that I just said was correct. Said he needed to have another guy come out, his structural engineer, and crawl under the house, because there were some structural issues that he was concerned with, and that was kind of out of his area. 3 weeks ago, they both finally came out. So it was just after, no, it wasn't even that. It was about a week and a half ago. I don't know. Anyways, it was just after the new year. Today's like the 14th or 15th. So it must have been last week. So anyways, they come out last week. They both crawled under the house. Structural engineer, he was here for about 2.5 hours, and the other guy here was here about 4 hours. Just kind of going over everything that they want to do to fix everything under the house. Basically, because it's an old house, all the rafters, or all the floor joists, rafters of the ceiling, all the floor joists are 24 inches on center, which we knew that when we ripped out the floor. I put mine back 16 on center. They're also 2x6s. I put in 2x6s, but my spacing is 16 on center, and I'm also going to go and put 2 more pillars in the middle after I get all this done to help, support the middle of the floor, which would have been fine if they would have done that too, but they didn't. So over time, they have sagged real bad, and everything in the house, the floors are sagging real bad. So basically, they wanted to sister a new 2x6 or new 2x8 to every floor joist under the house, and then put structural beams every 7 feet, and then steel girders or steel beaming to split basically the floor in half in between the front part of the house and the back part of the house. And then beef up the center girder in the middle, dig a trench around the inside, and put the French drain in, sump pump, and then encase or encapsulate the underside of the house, which is basically plastic, seal everything up, and put in dehumidifiers. First quote when he first came out, before Christmas, the first guy approximated about $20,000 to do it. At that point, I was on board. I was actually on board with that. I'm thinking that's a lot of work. It's a lot of digging by hand. There's no room under there, especially for me. And to pay somebody else to do that shit would probably be worth it. So I was on board with 20,000 ish. So they come back out. He sat there with us, like I said, a couple hours and longer, and went over all that shit. He sent me an email that night and gave me a quote of $47,000, 670 some change. It's basically almost $48,000 to do everything from the floor down. Fuck that shit. The house is old. Like I said, it's 80 years old. It only appraises for just under 100,000 if we're lucky, with the land and everything else. So I mean, even at best, that's half of the fucking value of the house. Granted, the house sits on the foundation, and that's where everything starts. But I honestly don't feel everything that way needs to be fixed right now. The biggest problem that I see is everything on this side that we were just looking at, and I'll spin you back around. Basically along the side of the house here. This is where, you can see the downgrade from up here at the neighbors. And we're sitting at the bottom of, cul-de-sac area. And everything washes this way. It's always been a problem. That's why I've got this drain up here that I put in a couple summers back and has made a huge difference. The front room here sits on a pad, a concrete pad. So this corner of the house, pre-putting this in, this would all flood, go up to the front door, and then this corner here would actually leak water in the house. And she had a lot of problem when it would rain really hard, with the inside of the house getting wet. So I put this in, and I had that put in, and that has redirected a lot of water into what was a French drain here. Has collapsed and was broken real bad with all the roots from the trees. So I dug that back up last summer and put down just 4-inch, I think I put in 4-inch corrugated, down to where you see the downspout here, and then it's back to the regular French drain to there, and then it's corrugated, the flexible tube going all the way out back. So anyways, that has alleviated a lot of the problem as long as we keep it cleaned out, with all the leaves and all the pine needles. I told you this was a long story. With all the pine needles and the leaves, it gets clogged up pretty quick. So we try to stay on top of it. If it don't, then it'll flood and it'll get here, and then all the water, like I said, runs this way. And because the foundation has been breached somewhere through here, the water finds its way in and seeps in that way. There was a huge fucking tree over here and one out back that we had took down last spring. I think it was last summer. Anyway, we had those chopped down. Those, I guess I'll walk back here. Jesus Christ. All right, so we had one big, huge tree here. I think it was a white oak maybe. But the roots were really shallow because all this has been washed away. And those that have followed me for the past several years know that this is all new dirt. I brought all this in by hand, 22 ton by hand. I filled all this in, and there's a knee wall back there, and then all that was filled in. Again, those that followed me, you can find the pictures on Twitter and see what all I've done just to try to take care of all this water. But anyways, there was a tree here. There's a really big tree there. There's roots that have broke underneath the foundation and have given water places to go. I need gutters. That's going to help run it down, out, and around the corner. There was a huge root that goes right through here. That Dad fixed back at the end of last year when we was working, when we first started doing this. He fixed that. I chopped out as much root as I can, but there's still a big root. This one is the one that goes all the way around under the house and comes out on the far side, the one that we were looking at in the last video, where it was dripping, and that's where we thought the water was coming from. But the structural engineer says that, and I didn't really think about this, when you cut off the supply of a root, especially when it's underground, I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to die, but as it dies, it constricts, basically like a sponge. So any kind of moisture, any kind of water that's in it, it starts wringing it out. So it'll follow itself to the end of the tip if it's downgrade or whatever. And like I said, if you expose that, you can watch it drip as it contracts, and squeezes all that moisture out of that root. The ground around it obviously doesn't move, so the more it shrinks, the ground, there's like a river underneath, so it makes it even easier for the water to flow. So basically that's what this has created. When we took this tree out, it shrank some, it is constricted, and opened up a river or a place for the water to flow under the house and weep into the soil all around it. So it has accentuated the problem on the other side of the house. So that's why all of a sudden here in the past 8 months, we have a serious fucking water issue under the house, under the crawl space. And that's what I'm trying to fix. That's what's been going on. That's why there haven't been like hardly any videos at all. I mean, this is like a dawn to dusk thing. You can see I'm covered. And again, we're gonna crawl into there real quick before I end this particular vlog one, and show you, what I've got done so far, and kind of talk about a little bit more about what my plans are to, again, try to take this a piece at a time. The biggest problem is up on that side of the house. I'm going to fix that side of the house first, hopefully before January, February, March, April, before the rains really start coming in. Usually around April it starts getting really rainy. April showers. So if I can fix that side of the house and get the sump set up, I can probably alleviate maybe 80% of the problem. Get some gutters on this side of the house, some gutters on that side of the house, redirect this into a gutter system, and then into this, I put that into. Yeah, I've been dealing with this water problem for a while. I can run these gutters here and here down and into my catch basin, and then run it away from the house. So I've already kind of preset myself up over here. So yeah, I got a lot to do over the next several months, guys. I'll get videos out when I can. Obviously, I've only got 4 days off, and I gotta try to get this done. But anyways, like I said, gutters here, gutters there, a gutter here, and then on the other side of the house. Those that didn't know, I got rid of the Rex and got me a new Ram, and got rid of my other truck, so I traded the truck and the car. Fucking love it. Man, I fucking love that thing. Spent all day cleaning it up. Yeah, yesterday, because we had snow, believe it or not, last week, and we had about 6 inches on the ground. And it was 70 degrees yesterday and 70 degrees the day before. It's about 52 today. It's gonna be about 62 tomorrow. So I had to clean all the grime and grit off the truck, and it looks spectacular. I love it. All right, let's crawl underneath real quick and we'll go over a few more things. All right, guys, we're under the house. All right, so basically, we got holes underneath the side here, because what I'm gonna do is I'm out of breath, I'm sorry. There's a lot of goddamn work. So I'm going to dig down. Like so, I'm trying to find the footer here. It looks like this block here looks like one of those. Looks like 80 years ago when they did these are half blocks here. You can see by the 2x4. It's not a full 4-inch cinder block. These assholes apparently took those, turned them on its side for a footer, and then built on top of it. But even there, it's not complete. You can see right here, there's no footer. That's where the footer should be. I can take the shovel and go right up underneath that, and that's bad. Because water, like I said, it just seeps into this ground. It's always wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig my French drain here, all the way around, probably just starting from here, all the way around the corner, all the way up to the front, underneath there, up to the front slab. And then I'm going to put a sub pump in right here. Right now I've got it over here. This is my little temporary one, where all the water, a lot of the water runs down here, and that's the low spot. I purposely made a low spot for the water to catch up here, and that way I can pump it out. I'm still cleaning this out right here, but eventually this is going to taper back this way towards the new pit. That way any water that comes down, you can see I'm kind of building a little trench here. Hopefully I can make it probably bigger, probably about 2x4 probably 2 inches by about 4 inches deep along the outer edge here, so it'll run into this to the sump basin until I get this side of the house fixed, because water is still going to come from here down and run down into here and collect. Even if I put a sub pump over there, I'm still going to have a water issue here. because I mean that'll be fixed. But where I showed you where that root is, where that comes out, water is still going to run this way, and I'm still going to have a pool over here. So I need to carve this out and give that water a place to run back into the new sump system until I can work that way and fix that a French drain on the inside going that way. And that's like this time, like next year probably. This is a lot of fucking work. A lot of fucking work. I've put a light in. I've got a nice little plug over here now. I put that in. You see all the insulation's done. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw all the pictures. The floor is done. The floor, it's been done. But as soon as I finished it, I took like a couple weeks off to just chill from all this shit. Try to get back into, you know, getting videos going. I'll put my little tripod down here, and hopefully you guys can see me okay. And it's going to be unlevel as hell because I'm, there we go. So, anyways, you know, I want to take a couple weeks off from all the work that I've done on the floor and getting things back and get, you know, try to get back into gaming. And I just didn't feel it. I was so fucking burned out. And then all this started happening. Like I said, you know, we had a storm a few weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks after I finished and after the hurricane. And I just happened to look under here and just water everywhere. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's starting all over again. And that's what this is what I've been working on. And it's real hard, one, time-wise to do videos, and two, motivational-wise. By the time I get done, you know, out of here digging all this shit out, I don't feel like doing shit. I mean, it's late. You know, I want to lay down and go to sleep. So that's why I said I'll try to get videos when I can. We'll probably have a couple more vlogs here over the course of getting this done. I was going to show you my new toy too. Fuck, we're gonna have to do that on the next vlog. After, you know, I get this dug out and we have another little trenching with Jag update video. But anyways, that's it for now. I want to bring everybody up to speed, where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm under the house. That's where Jag is. Nowhere near the computers right now, except for in the evening, in the mornings when I try to answer comments. But again, really, really appreciate the support, guys. Hope you're loving the vlog videos. I know there's a bunch of you out there that are actually enjoying these little working with Jag type videos. But anyways, again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I will try to do a time lapse and either put it at the end of this one and you can watch me dig a little bit, or actually I think I need to charge the phone and put it in the next vlog maybe, and that's how we'll start the next vlog. We'll see. My creative juices are still there for video making. I love making videos. You guys know that. So I mean, even if it's not Minecraft right now, I'm gonna make some damn videos. So anyways, again, thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Love you, no homo. And we'll see you on the next one. Later.
Yeah, baby girl, you're so damn fine, though. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, though. I'm sipping on you like some fine wine, though. When it's over, I press rewind, though.